Hey Aries, this is Daniel Red Wolf. Most of you know me as Dan. I've had a channel here since 2016, and that I took a break, and a much needed break. I really needed to go through quite a few initiations, step into my teaching role. However, I'm back, so I'm going to be doing monthly general readings for everyone, for every zodiac sign, and then whatever spirit comes through. So I'm an indigenous shamanic practitioner, so I do a lot of shamanic work and a lot of shamanic coaching, where it's the intuitive side. So for those of you to my channel, welcome. For those of you who have been with me and did not unsubscribe when I took my break, welcome back. I'm really excited to be here. As a welcome back gift, I'm looking forward to working with new clients and existing clients. So I'm offering a 50% off offer for anybody who wants to get a one-on-one session with me. I normally offer 60-minute sessions. However, I added 15, 30, and 45-minute sessions as well. So then you get 50% off my regular rate. So you can go to link below or my website, bodysoulspirit.co, and use the promo code below to be able to get that 50% off. And that's valid for a session with me directly. In my website, Colibrí Spiritual Wellness Collective, there's quite a few other practitioners that are colleagues of mine that I really work with, that I trust. If you want to get a reading with them, a session with them, the offer does not work for them. However, they would love to hear from you and work with you. And so Aries 2023 for June 2023. So did all the other air signs, all the air, earth, water, and now finishing up with fire signs. So appreciate your patience on this. Let's see what is happening. So I pull 8 cards out for those of you who are new to my channel. 8 cards, and then I'll get some clarification cards and see a final message from our ancestors. Again, they're general readings, so they may not resonate with everybody. I always say take whatever resonates with you and throw the rest in the back burner. It might not resonate with you right now. However, it might make sense at a later point. 10 of Pentacles right off the bat. And 7 of Swords. And for those of you who are new, I'm very direct. I'm very open. So shit can get real sometimes. Knight of Wands. I was going to say the last one was 4 of Wands, sorry. 5 of Swords. 5 of Wands. Queen of Cups. The Hangman. So right off the bat, one of the biggest things that's coming up to me is the 10 of Pentacles. The 10 of Pentacles to me, especially when I see it on this deck, there is something coming. There is something coming in terms of, it could be in terms of money, it could be in terms of promotion. There's a celebration coming. There is something that you've worked for that it's finally, that you're going to be celebrating it, that you're going to be acknowledged. So some of you might be getting an award, some of you might be getting a promotion. I really feel like there is going to be a celebration. For a couple of you, I feel like you might be attending a wedding during the month of June, or maybe it is your wedding that's coming up during the month of June. And in terms of that as well, there is definitely for some of you a celebration. There is money coming in when it comes to that. And one of the things that is for those of you that are either single, maybe you're married or coupled, stuff like that. However, the next one was the 7 of Swords. The 7 of Swords is that, for me, that one, I always look at that one, and sometimes I'll see like a triangle, but for this one, I'm really seeing where it's a couple of you that are single. You're really focusing on, hey, when is it gonna be my turn to get a spouse? When is it gonna be my turn to get a partner? You're seeing everybody else that's happy around you, and you're just wondering, what the heck? What am I doing? What's wrong with me, right? And there is nothing wrong with you. You're just having to allow yourself to move into that space, to give yourself that time to move and to enjoy life. I feel like for a couple of you, you're still unsure on what it is you want. You think you want a life partner, but pay attention. What are the qualities you want? What are the qualities that really you would benefit in terms of a life partner? and be able to identify that, because there is going to be definitely someone coming. It can definitely be another air sign. It could be another fire sign. It could also be an air sign as well, because with the horse, it's blowing through the air. It's moving through the air. So it could also be an air sign, a fire sign, especially for you. I don't even know why I'm getting this, but an Aquarius could definitely be something, or another, like I said, another fire sign. Leo is coming very strong with this. So for those of you who are single, there is definitely movement in there. However, it's going to definitely take some time. It, I'm getting the number 7 with that card, so it's going to start maybe happening in July, where you're going to start finally seeing something, but you're going to start meeting people during June, figuring out what it is you want. This is the month of identifying what you want and what you do not want. So for a couple of you, there is definitely going to be a move. There's something happening. There's a building. It could be that you're building a company. It could be that you're building a house. You're starting from scratch. Maybe you're buying a new construction home and you're really building everything. Or you can be maybe completely remodeling your whole entire home. So there's definitely something happening. And for those of you who do not have a home, maybe you are going to be moving to a different apartment, a different home. There is going to be a move happening. And for a couple of you, I really feel like that are in the transition of moving, it's going to be far away. It's a distance, so it might be that it's a different state, right? Of course, it's going to definitely be a different town, but it might be a different state for a couple of you. Hawaii's coming very loud and clear, so maybe like one person, maybe that's an Aries sign, is going to maybe move to Hawaii. A couple of you, I feel like there might be an abroad trip, like you might be moving abroad. So there is definitely stuff happening when it comes to that. The other thing that is really definitely coming up is when it comes in terms of love, it's starting to see things through a different perspective, starting to see things through a different lens. And I'm saying that because of the hangman. The hangman reminds us that, hey, in order for us to get unfrozen, to get unstuck, we have to be willing to see things from a different lens, from a different perspective. And I always say in shamanism, right, the shamanism is the direct path of direct revelation. So whenever I work with clients, I always tell them, hey, I'm going to lift the veil. I'm going to put a mirror up, and all your patterns are going to come through, right? Because there's so many things that you want to happen, and you're wondering why they're not happening. It's my role to help you understand and help you see through a different lens, help you put that mirror up and say, hey, this is what I need to move. This is what I need to change in order for stuff to happen, in order for us to, right, get away from what is happening in the future and focus more on what's happening in the present. So it's, again, being able to see things from a different lens. You have very intuitive skills. It's about being able to use them, being able to use that to ignite the fire that's within you, to move into that different state, to move into that place of creation. For a lot of you, you're very quick to manifest, but you've been probably wondering, why the heck have I not been manifesting? It's been a struggle the last 5 months, right? And it's because you're focused on so much on what it is you want that they're telling me you're not appreciating what's in front of you. And that's sometimes hard to hear, right? A lot of times I'm also like, hey, what's happening? I'm usually quick to manifest what is going on. And I'm not falling in love with the process. That's when I catch myself not falling in love with the process. I'm falling in love with the outcome. So it's definitely taking the time to say, what are my patterns? What shit do I got to get rid of? And what has to change, and how? And because when I know what has to change, that's when I know what I need to do to move into that state. So for a couple of you, in terms of work, I feel like there's definitely a struggle. Some of you, you're walking away from something. It could be a toxic environment where you feel like you're not being supported. You're not being supported by your supervisors. You're not being supported by leadership. So there is that moment of you during the month of June where you're going to start looking for a new job. And I feel like maybe this might have started in May. So it might have started in May where you started feeling like there's some betrayal, there's some hurt. And it's always a competition. It's always, they're making me feel like it's always someone's, like, I really feel like this is more in terms of leadership, that they're pinning everybody against you. So it could be that maybe you're in sales or something where they're trying to get you to the point where, hey, why this person performed way better than you. Maybe you should take some tips from them, right? So again, some months are good, some months are bad, right? I get it. I understand. There are some good months, there are some bad months. However, that's how we label them. For me, I always like to say, hey, there's some really good months where I really do great, where energy flows, and there's some other months where I just don't do as great. But those are the months that I know I have to slow down. It's like, hey, I need to recover so I can at it again. So again, looking at it from a different perspective, looking at it from a different angle, you're going to start noticing this stuff's going to happen. However, you don't got to be treated like crap. And I feel like that's really what's going to be the month of June, where you're going to start realizing, hey, I'm tired of feeling like shit. I'm tired of being pinned against someone else. I'm tired of not being valued, because there's so much skills, there's so much that you bring to the table. However, no one's appreciating them. So I feel like for a couple of you, it's really time to get out of your comfort zone and say, hey, I need to start moving into that. For a couple of you, one of the big things that just came through me was maybe you don't have a degree, maybe you don't have a college degree, a college education, and that's what's maybe holding you back. Where you're like, I'm not going to be able to have another job, find another job that's going to pay me just as well or even better, because I don't have that degree. And I see people all the time that are getting jobs based on their experience, because your experience might be it's actually worth maybe a lot more than what a college degree is, right? So being able to say, hey, I have what it takes, and me moving forward. You might just have to overcome imposter syndrome, or you're really tackling your worthiness and saying, hey, I don't need that piece of paper to feel worthy. I know for me, total vulnerability here, that really is one of the biggest things for me sometimes, that I get triggered, where it's like, oh my God, doesn't matter how many degrees I have. I feel like I'm never going to be, I feel like I'm not going to ever be smart enough, right? So at the end of the day, I always tell people I just have a bachelor's in perfectionism, a master's in procrastination, and a PhD in people pleasing, because that's ultimately what it feels like throughout my life, going throughout my life. However, right, having degrees behind me, and and having gone to school all those years, there are, like I said, those moments where I, even with a degree, with an advanced graduate degree, I don't feel like I'm good enough. And that's just a rumble, right? That it's a thing that I continue to work through, that I continue to rumble with, and I just catch myself, and it's like, hey, again, don't worry, I'm good enough, right? It's if I'm always going to be chasing another degree, it's like, it's for what? Why? Right? So what is it triggering? So again, it might feel like you might not be smart enough, like you might not be able to be qualified enough. Take a chance. They're making me feel like, take a chance. Don't feel defeated, because again, you might feel defeated, like it's not going to work. You might feel defeated after a couple interviews where it's like, hey, no one calls me back. It's like, just do the interviews and think about it as you're interviewing them. Is that really a company I want to work with? Is that an environment I want to work with, right? One of my nephews was looking for a job, and I told him, it's like, hey, what is a superstar? One of the good questions you can ask is like, what is a superstar? What are the requirements for you to be a superstar in this environment, right? And what is the qualities of a person who doesn't make it in this environment? And right off the bat, that's going to tell you so much about the culture and that organization. But those are vulnerable questions that you ask at the end of the interview, right? However, those questions are going to let you know how that culture is, and then you realize, it's like, do I really want to work here? Do I not? Is it going to be too toxic? Is it not, right? I remember I told a client of mine, make a list of everything you want in a job: salary, position, benefits, health insurance, right, days off, whatever it is. And also, I always also mention, it's like, hey, it's a peaceful and harmonious environment, that you are supported by staff, that you have peaceful and harmonious and energetic and engaging colleagues that are supportive of you, as well as leadership. And she forgot to put that on there, and then she got the job with everything that she wanted except a supportive team, and she hated it. And she's like, shit, I did not do that. So the next round she did it, and now she feels like she's in the place where she wants to be, right? But one small thing, one small detail is, you will get exactly what you asked for, right? So if you want a supportive team, make sure you ask for it. Make sure you put it on there, because if you don't, you're going to get something that you don't ultimately want. So money's definitely going to start coming in terms of that. There is definitely going to be an increase in income for you. For a couple of y'all, I feel like if you do take a shift, a different position, you might realize that you might step down, that you might lose some money. However, you're going to gain it a lot quickly. I can't freaking talk today. You're going to definitely gain it quicker. It's going to move a lot. It's going to come a lot quicker afterwards. So yeah, you're going to have to put in a lot of work, or maybe you might have to do a side hustle, right? It might be like ride sharing or delivery, or starting a side gig, but you're starting to do something. For a couple of you, is it the Queen? Yeah, the Queen of Cups. For me, every time I see this card, this to me, it reminds me of scrying. scrying with water. So for me, this tells me that, hey, this is the moment that you're going to start receiving the wisdom, the guidance to start building your empire. You're to start building uh, um, your castle. That is going to start. You're going to start building something of that's going to be able to sustain you long term. So for a couple of you, it might be a business, it might be a podcast, a YouTube channel, whatever it may be. But it's something when it comes to technology. So it's going to be, maybe even some of you might want to do a membership site, whatever it may be. There is definitely going to be growth when it comes to this. There is definitely going to be an expansion in terms of you taking whatever it is you know, whatever it is you want, have learned over all these years, and expanding it. One of the biggest things that I encounter with clients all the time, they're like, I'm too young to do this, right? Or I'm too old to start. And it's like, no, you're not. I just have a colleague of mine, a friend of mine, that she's been teaching for so long, and now she's retiring, but she's finally going to start her own thing. She's been doing emails and with her newsletter. She's been making videos and teaching fiddle and stuff like that. So it is definitely, you're never too old to start, and you're never too young to start either. So it's about being able to say, this is what I know, and I don't really give a crap what people think. I'm just going to put it out there. It is going to be vulnerable. I'm not going to lie. Even putting these videos up, every single time I put a video up, it is terrifying. Every time I teach a class, it is terrifying. Getting myself out in the arena. Whew, I was going to say, I don't even know how many times I've led ceremony or taught classes over the last several years. And even up to this day, I still go to a class or a ceremony. I'm like, oh my God, I'm so freaking scared. I'm nervous. And it might not appear like I am, but I've, not that long ago, I actually led a ceremony, and I was like, okay, SFDs, shitty first drafts are going wild. I'm like, fuck. So I stopped ceremony. I literally stopped ceremony. Like, okay, let's all take a breather. I'm feeling like everyone's a little anxious, and I'm feeling that because I know I'm anxious. I'm wondering, like, what the heck is everyone thinking? I'm so worried about if you guys are going to like the ceremony, if you guys are going to understand it, or whatever, right? And everybody's like, oh my God, thank you for telling me. I'm freaking out over here. I'm like, me too. And I'm leading this ceremony. I'm teaching the class, right? So it is definitely terrifying, regardless of how many freaking times we do it. We're terrified. It's okay to be scared. We just have to be willing to acknowledge it, to say, hey, shit, this shit scares me, but I'm going to keep going at it. I'm going to keep attacking. I'm going to keep growing, regardless of the criticism, right? Regardless of what attacks come through. Because a lot of times when attacks come through, you have a tendency to go smaller, just expand a little bit more. So definitely money's going to definitely be coming in. Oh gosh, clearly it's been a long day. So appreciate your patience on this one. But Aries, the world. If you start working on yourself, if you start really taking action and moving, shit's going to start to happen. There is going to be a revelation. There is going to be an expansion. I feel like a lot of you have definitely been doing a lot of healing work during the beginning part of the year, to the point that you are going to finally start reaping those rewards. You're really going to start seeing the shifts. The Star card, this means you're finally starting to opening up your heart to what is going to happen, what's going to come. For a couple of you, there is definitely, like I said, you have to start working on your shadow, especially with the Seven of Swords. You're going to have to start working on your shadow. You see our Mother Moon right there. She reminds us that we have to work on our dark side. So some of you might still have to do some cleanup. You have to do some cleanup when it comes to this. And then the other one is finally the Nine of Wands. The Nine of Wands for me on this one means, hey, you got to put your boundaries up. So if you are stepping into a new role, or if you're going to stay in your current job, put boundaries up. Put boundaries up with your family. Put boundaries up with whatever it is that you're doing. But it's about being able to say, hey, I need to really put my foot down. I need to be able to say, hey, this is what I need, and I don't want to be treated like crap. I don't want to be dismissed. My ideas are just as valuable as someone else's. So whatever it is, I really feel like it's about month of June overall, putting your boundaries up, putting boundaries up, doing the remaining part of your shadow work that needs to get done, opening up your heart, allowing yourself to be in the present moment, because the moment you do that, you're going to finish out June really solid. There are some things that I feel, I don't know, the planet Saturn just came through, so I don't know what's happening with a couple of you. Maybe you're going through your Saturn return. If you are, that's definitely going to be a healing process that you're going to go through. Trust me, I've gone through mine, and I am so excited that Pluto is coming into my picture. right? So it's about being able to step into that. Have courage. So have courage to ask for what you need. Allow yourself to have the things that whatever your mind is thinking, allow that to move. So you see they have the courage right there. They're just standing firm. They're standing their ground, not move. And it's reminding me of a quote from Maya Angelou. I don't know exactly what the quote is, but she's like, stay firm, be like a tree, don't move, and be still. So be willing to be uncomfortable. Be willing to say, hey, this is who I am and I'm not changing. Be unapologetically confident. And I really feel like ultimately that's really what it's going to being for the month of June. Being unapologetically confident, saying, hey, you know what? I normally would help you. However, I need to put myself first. I need to do what I need to do first. Or, hey, I can't keep cleaning up your slack. Whatever it may be, right? So definitely transformations coming. A couple of you, there's a new job coming, a new opportunity, a new promotion. There is going to be a celebration. So again, some of you might be closing on a house, a wedding, anniversary. And some of you are, like I said, are moving. One of you might be actually moving to Hawaii or abroad. So start seeing things from a different perspective, and you're going to notice that June is going to actually go a lot quicker than you actually think. However, if you're not willing to do your work during the month of June, you're going to notice that it's going to drag into the month of July and August. So shadow work sucks. I am not going to lie on that part. I actually taught a shadow work class this last month, and I opened the class up. It was freaking ridiculous. I opened the class up, and within a week, actually even less than a week, it was like a couple days, I only opened it for a certain amount of slots. That shit was closed. It was done. All the slots were filled, and I was like, shit. And I'm not gonna lie, it was a really good class. It was an intense class because it was a lot of crying, a lot of releasing, because that's what shadow work is. It's looking into what we don't like about ourselves, what we locked away, what we don't want people to see. And however, it was a transformative class that I'm still hearing from people saying, shit, like that's changed my life. I'm still doing the work. However, it definitely was uncomfortable. It allowed me to see things in a different lens. So I'm going to be definitely opening up that shadow work class again. Hopefully in July. I know I'm going to be doing a retreat in July. I'm going to be traveling in July. So it definitely won't be the month of July because that's already packed. But maybe even I'll open it up and then have it in August or something. So if you're interested in any other classes or whatever I'm doing, there is definitely going to be classes remote and classes in person that I do here in Chicago, as well as around the U.S. and abroad. So like the one I'm doing in July, it's going to be in Mexico. So that's going to be pretty cool. Follow the link below, bodysoulspirit.co, and you'll see the calendar, everything that's listed on there. I still have to add more descriptions and add more to the website, to our collective website. However, you can definitely go to the calendar and see the past events or the upcoming events to understand the topics that I'll be teaching. But I'm so excited to be back. Hopefully this resonated with you. If it did, leave a comment let me know how it resonated with you, or what you think is coming up for you in the month of June. And definitely like, share, subscribe. And if you definitely want to work with me, get some more in-depth information, go to the link below, bodysoulspirit.co, and then click on my name and the practitioner thing, and then hit the promo code. I think it's YouTube-50, and then again, 50% off. So as a welcome back, and it's going to allow you to get a one-on-one with me, and that expires the end of June. I know a lot of people have started taking advantage of it, so my schedule is definitely booking up really quickly. I know last time I opened up my schedule for one-on-ones, I was packed to the point that I had a wait list. So I'm going to assume the way things are going, it's going to happen again. So if it does, I will try to open more spots up, but there's only so many hours in the day that I can do. So Aries, you're amazing. Thank you so much for being so supportive. Love y'all, and can't wait to see what happens during the month of June. Send me a message, and take care. Bye-bye.